Cases added every day now. The death count has crossed over 1,000 in the last 24 hours. Will it get much worse in your view before it gets better? What lies ahead in these next few weeks? There is a lot of worry, a lot of concern.
I think if we track the numbers, right now, everything that we are looking at is an upward trajectory in most places. What we should be watching out for is the test positivity rate, which will be the first to show a decline. And after that, we will begin to see a decline in hospitalizations and in the deaths being counted. So making sure that we are doing enough testing and tracking the numbers stably over time is what is going to give us a signal on how we're going to do. Right now, we are trending upwards on all counts.
If I may ask you, how do you see this upward climb to last, what, 4 to 6 weeks? And different parts of the country getting affected at different times. Maharashtra at the moment, but slowly spreading to Uttar Pradesh, to Bihar, to Bengal. Is that the trajectory you see over the next 4 to 6 weeks, ma'am?
So if we look at the patterns of waves that have been seen in different parts of the world, the whole cycle of a wave is somewhere around a total of 12 weeks. And it is the pace of climb that counts and then the decline that counts. You reach a peak and over a period of time it comes down, and the whole cycle lasts about 12 weeks. Now, when you have overlapping 12 weeks from different locations, the pattern can vary from the kind of sharp upward swings and the sharp declines that are usually patterns at a more local level. And what we are seeing is that some of the places that led in the past are leading again. Maharashtra as an example, and Delhi beginning to climb now. And these are just trajectories that we will have to continue to monitor in order to see how the pandemic declines in specific locations. There are some areas that have just begun to climb now, and for them, the climb and the deceleration will be a longer period than it will be for Maharashtra and Punjab, for example, which were early leads.
So it's very interesting what you're saying. From what you're saying, the states which saw an early spike in cases in March itself, the decline will set in earlier there, and you will now have new states that could be affected. Am I right? That and is it that all these states are seeing potentially a double mutant virus? Can we say that with some confidence, or new strains in different parts of the country?
I don't think we can say that it is the double mutant everywhere because we don't have the sequencing data. The data that we do have seems to indicate that in Punjab and possibly in Delhi, what we are seeing is largely the spread of the UK variant. And again, this is based on small numbers of strains that have been sequenced. In Western India, we are seeing B1617, which might be called the Indian variant if we use geography to describe these variants. But there are other Indian variants as well. There are strains that have been seen in southern India that are different from the ones that are seen in the West. Whether those will also have the characteristics of increased transmissibility is something that we will need to wait and see as we follow the trajectory of the pandemic as well as the sequencing data that I hope will emerge much faster now than it has in the past.
The one question which people are asking again and again to us is, are these new variants immune to vaccinations? People who are taking the first dose are getting COVID, are turning COVID positive within a few days. Is that a cause of worry that the vaccinations, as they are in the country at the moment, may not necessarily give you immunity against these new variants?
The effect of a vaccine kicks in about 3 weeks after you receive the first dose of the vaccine. So if people are getting infected and sick after the first dose of the vaccine, it's likely that it is happening in the first 3 weeks after they receive the vaccine before we could expect the vaccine to work.